YouTube videos.
Hold on 1 second. I got popcorn in my teeth. Oh, hold on.
Are you a professional? Can you perform through it? Hey everyone, my name's Maddie. I'm a 22-year-old competitive boulderer from Canada, currently living near Frankfurt, Germany. Welcome back to my COMPCLIMB training series, where I record my training here and there, do my best to describe each session, and just chat about climbing with an emphasis on competition. So speaking of competition, I have went and followed the competition series that's happening in Germany right now. And we're at Sport Park COMPCLIMB, where they just had a competition a couple days ago. So I went back to the gym. I didn't compete, but I went to go try the finals boulders. So this is women's 2. This was actually the first boulder I got on today. And it was actually harder than it looked. I thought, this was the first boulder I tried. So I was like, yeah, let's just get on this. And then the holds were really bad and I almost fell. But I did get the send in, so I was pretty pleased with myself. So then I decided to move on to the next women's boulder because it also looked my style. It's a bit of a slab, lots of really cool volumes. I don't climb on these volumes a lot, so I wanted to try these ones out. And we're going to start right away with our tip of the day. So this one is pretty comp specific, but it can also be applied to projecting or just whenever you're having a session and you see a boulder for the first time. So for this boulder, I sequenced it quite a bit. But I ended up doing a lot of different things when I actually got to the boulder. I actually didn't even sequence to come over to the zone. So my left hand's on the zone right now. And when I was looking at it, I actually didn't even kind of notice it or my sequence didn't actually include it. And so when I got on and I kind of was about to start, I saw, oh, okay, I guess you're going to the left then. So my tip of the day is sometimes there comes a point where you are sequencing too much and you have to just actually get on the wall to figure it out. And for this one, this cross beta that I have here, that was not sequenced. And a lot of the micro movements with my feet, not the broad strokes for sequence. And I kind of knew where I was going. And that's about it for this boulder. When you're on a time limit for a 5-on-5 off and you only have, a certain amount of time to sequence it because you kind of have to get on the wall. That's exactly it. You have to get on the wall at some point. And sometimes the best beta is found when you are on the wall and just figuring it out. And sometimes you actually literally can't sequence, it just is unable to sequence something that is really minute and hard to identify.
Well, this is something that you've been having to practice a lot in the last World Cup season. And it's kind of you got better and better as every World Cup happened, where you were really... I was watching you, obviously. I went to most of the World Cups with you, and I was watching you. And my comment after your first few World Cups, after your rounds, I was like, Maddie, you got on at 3 minutes 45 for your first attempt on a lot of the boulders. And that was sort of my bit of an outsider perspective advice that I could give her, or just feedback. I was like, I really think that you could even just do it that extra 30 seconds. And in Japan, there were some buzzer beater finishes.
There were 2 tops that I went for after the timer expired. It was really bad. That was my worst comp simply because I took too long to sequence and I ended up figuring out the beta on the wall too late because I only had 2 minutes left to climb this boulder, and that's when I found my beta. So literally the next World Cup, I think it was the Seoul World Cup right after Hachioji, I completely fixed it. I was running out to my boulders so I could get and start sequencing them as soon as possible and then get on with 30 seconds. Because oftentimes the beta, you have to sequence in bouldering for sure, but oftentimes, it's not quite as cryptic as it may seem. And sometimes the beta just really, comes to you when you look at it.
Your mind can only do so much work, and then your body really takes up the rest of it.
And how pretty are these holds? I've never seen this color for block holds before. It's this nice gold with the white is the texture part. It's really pretty. I've never seen that. I was really psyched to see that. So I got on this boulder next. I didn't actually want to get on this boulder, but I did.
Why is that?
There were some kids in the gym.
Oh, that's right.
There were actually.
I thought you were going to say because it's a paddle.
No. I knew I had to get on the paddle.
Yeah,
I'm really bad at paddles. But I was kind of saving it. I don't know why I was saving it. In hindsight, this was a good time to get on this boulder, but I guess I was just wanting to do some other stuff first. But either way, I was kind of already not happy to be getting on this boulder when I didn't want to. But here's my first attempt. Pretty close, actually. I get my hands right where I want them, and then my right hand lands on the final hold, but I don't quite stick it. And then what you're about to see is almost a bit of a degradation of my attempts. They all get worse from here. I even I slip right away, and like it's like you're about to see me fall all over this, and there's not really much to say about it other than I was starting to get very tired.
Well, me and you were just talking about this as well, and it's kind of funny how you started off your first couple days back after rest month with a lot of energy, and you had some pretty good climbing sessions, way better than sessions I would have had after not climbing for that long. And I was quite surprised, and in fact, I was kind of like, I had a bit of like a tiny bit of like a starstruck moment, like even back when we first started climbing together, and I like really was noticing how good you are. And then I was having this a bit again, like in these first couple sessions, I was like, is she just like an absolute animal? Like, are you just a machine? You can just climb so well after not climbing for a month. That's like my dream. I would have to work into it so slowly. And we were like really surprised by that. But now we're realizing it's starting to catch up to you finally.
Yeah, well, I feel like you were saying this too. Like the first 2 days I was back, like I literally was just really well rested. Like I had a month off, and I was like good to go. I had so much energy. And then I had my first rest day, and then I came back, and immediately, I was fatigued. And I had been fatigued since. So it's been like a week and a half, maybe almost 2 weeks now, where I've just been every single session. I'm like, I can't quite make it to the full like 90 minutes. Like it's not. I don't. Like, luckily, my hands don't hurt anymore. Like my skin is now accustomed to climbing, but I am not. And you'll see, like even that attempt, like that is not. I'm just looking at myself climb. I'm like, this isn't how I usually climb. Like I usually have more energy in my jumps. Like I can. Like, I'm just so slow. And I scrape myself right here.
Well, it's interesting, too. Like, when you're coming back from your sort of last break and getting back into climbing, you weren't filming yourself as much as you are these days. So now you can actually really see it. So this is obviously, I sort of watched you go through this whole process last year. Oh, hey, that was your epic fall of the day. You could hear that through the video. But yeah, like I obviously watched your whole process, and I got to kind of see you go from like not comp season ready Maddie to like, just like almost like not doubling your ability, but doubling your shape. Like it's crazy to see just how much progress you make from the start of the season to like peak season mode. And that's just the nature of like being competitive climbers. Like you got a certain time of year you want to be.
Well, and it's like, it's a struggle because, a lot of people that I train with don't periodize. They're just always good to go. And I obviously go through, low points and high points throughout the season. It's really hard to go and just underperform on every boulder you get on because you know how well you can climb and you just aren't doing it. And you just I just got off of like a whole comp season. I was going to the World Championships, and now here I am. I can't even do this mantle. I don't want to talk about this boulder. This really got under my skin. Like I'm good at mantles, okay? And this was just not happening. And I got on it because I was like, oh, let me just press this out. I can at least that I can do. Like even if I can't jump, I can press, and I couldn't press. It was either like a really hard. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, this is just you sort of having to reaffirm this idea that you just have to trust the process.
You just have to trust that like you'll get there. You just have to keep having these terrible sessions and just keep putting in the reps and going to the gym and like getting tired, and then one day you're just not going to get tired anymore, and then eventually the training will kick in, and the reps will get lower, and then you'll get back to the comp season and everything will be okay. But in the moment it's sometimes hard to feel that when I am unable to press on something I can usually press on.
Well, that's also what's fun about our series, and sort of like the idea behind making the series where I'm filming all my training and Maddie's filming a lot of it, is that it's just the nature of social media and whatnot. Oftentimes you just see the little bits of success that are highlighted on like every sort of like professional athletes, like day-to-day training. You'll see the send of the day, like this really cool bowler that someone did. And then, from the outsider perspective, you're just like, oh man, they must just be doing this every single time they touch the wall, just like banging out these amazing sends and just being so crazy. But that's not how it goes. You got this whole long off season where you're just struggling, and you have to like put in the hard work and the grind so that you can really shine when it comes down to comp time. And it's all about the process. And
I have to say, like, sometimes even for me, I'm not on social media, but I know like about other people's successes, and sometimes you think like, are they actually having sessions like this? Like, are they actually struggling all the time? Because it's like the people winning World Cups out there, like, are they actually having bad sessions? And, you know, I may not be winning World Cups, but I am absolutely having bad sessions. And sometimes I just have to remind myself that other people are too. Like, they can't not, you know?
So yeah, our duty to the world is to, you know, show that everybody struggles. So as you can see, Maddie was struggling a little bit on that big red volume, which, fun fact, I wanted to mention, I just remembered in this moment. If you can remember back to probably a month ago at this point, an episode my first time climbing at Boulder House Darmstadt, I was like doing a mantle, and we started like laughing about how I'm like really bad at mantles, and we like referenced a time in France where Maddie really noticed this weakness of mine, where I was trying to do this mantle and hold at the Maywan Brothers climbing gym.
So I'm gonna pause him right there. It was not quite that volume. It was a bigger version of that volume. I remember.
I thought it was that exact one.
It was a little bit bigger because I remember doing that mantle. I remember doing it too, and it was much easier than this mantle. Maybe the incline of the wall, I don't know, but it was bigger. I know it was bigger.
Yeah, that's funny. So that wrapped up Maddie's day of training. She was really like feeling the struggle these past few days of training. Like, it's funny, every time I get home or she gets home, she's always like, "Oh, Zach, I had another hard day at the gym." But she's really having to trust the process and, like, you know, really trust in Libor these days, that he's got brighter days in store for her as she like gets closer to the comp season and starts peaking. So talking repeatedly, like fast, for a long time, it builds up air in your chest, and that's why you'll often see me do this in the video. It's not because I'm nervous or something. It's because I literally get a buildup of air in my throat, and I need to like release it, because talking over and over again fast is like actually really hard.